Good evening. It's that time again. You know what? It's GunSlingerz. It's the final stretch. Can we do it? Let's discuss this. Wicked.
Man.
How you doing, guys? Evening all. Flipping it. Oh, it's been this interlude's been so long. Flipping it.
Hey. I haven't paid no attention to it,
Oh no, it's just crazy, man. It's just how long it's just gone on for. But we're slowly but surely coming back to now league football, and this is the final stretch, man. And it's like we're well and truly onto the business end of the season, where April is, and that Easter period. There's always the shakedown where things happen. I always remember with our league championship winning seasons and stuff. I always remember is one Easter time when Burkamp and Longberg always just kept coming up together, combining to score and stuff. And in our run into the, I think it was the 01-02 season or something like that. Listen, man, this time of the season now, it's big. It's going to be big. But first and foremost, let's welcome the panel. James, how you doing, man? What's happening?
What's going on, bro? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm blessed. You know what I mean? So, Steph, how you doing, bro? What's it like up north?
Yo.
For us, man, you're way up north.
Not that far. I'm a Midland, man. Midland.
Okay, Midland.
Yeah,
how you been, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Nice.
Wicked.
Need football back there, man.
Oh, listen, man. It's been. I don't know about you, but I mean, all I want from this whole period is that all our players come back unscathed, no injuries. I don't know whether it's a blessing in disguise or a curse that Saka got COVID, and whether or not that's going to impact him, because I'm guessing by the time we play again, he'll be eligible to play, but whether or not there'll be any lasting effects of COVID, we'll have to wait and see.
Who's our first game back though?
Palace on Monday away. So that being said, let me get straight into this, right? I'm going to show you guys our running, because this is now pretty much, you could say this is our guy, our rivals runnings at the same as us. So we've obviously got one or two more games to play than everyone else. So we start off away to Palace on Monday night football. You can tell that they're wanting an upset. Let's hope Vieira kind of cuts us a little slack. But I'm going to come to you first, James, and just a quick overview of that run-in. In comparison to the other teams, I mean, how are we positioned? For our run-in, and how do you see it going? Because we've got some tricky games in there.
Yeah, man. I think we're perfectly fine, to be honest. I'm not worried about the only team I expect to lose to on paper is Chelsea. They're the only team that I think in the games we have left to play that are better than us. That's my mindset. I see us beating Spurs. I see us beating United. And every other team that we're supposed to have beaten, apart from the first 3 games we played of the season, I'm expecting to beat them as well. Obviously, you have tough games.
Yeah.
Newcastle's going to be tough. West Ham is going to be tough. But again, they're games I'm not worried about. A lot of rival fans are saying we've got the toughest run. I think United have just as hard as a run as we do. But again, I'm confident.
I think United have got a very, I mean, it's kind of littered with some lesser teams, but there's at least 3 or 4 big teams in there, including us, Chelsea and Liverpool.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to highlight here. Like, theoretically, our next 3 games should be 9 points. That's the way I'm seeing it as. And I know Palace are on form right now. And I know Vieira is doing okay. I'm just expecting the way we're playing. And as you said, touch wood, fingers crossed that all of our players come back healthy, ready to go. It's a team we should be beating, and it's a team we should be beating comfortably. Maybe I'm going to jinx us by saying that, but that's my mindset for the rest of the season. I've been saying it for a while that we are favourites for top 4. Top 4 is in our hands, and that I'm confident we're going to do it. Like, the only reason we don't get top 4 is if we don't perform, and I just don't see us not performing. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but that's my mindset.
No, that's I love that, a positive outlook and a positive start to this show, because the way I see it is that I think you have to be positive at a time like this. We just have to keep doing the things that we have been doing. You're right, it's going to be tough. But Steph, are you as confident as our man James?
Yeah, well, he saw a loss in there. I didn't. So that's my only thing. I saw his dropping points, draw at max, but I didn't see it losing to anyone in that winning.
Really?
Like Chelsea?
No, it would be a draw, minimum.
Wow.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, like
that would be a tough game. That would be one heck of a game. I mean, it depends with them in the Champions League, right? As well.
It's not even that. I'm more based on how we're playing, the structure that we've got. Like, we're so regimented. Like, I don't think, like, Chelsea play through the lines, between the lines, and we don't really allow teams to do that. So I feel with it for us, I think when teams play us, we're very like we're deep. We're like very compact, like Burnley. You know, like, just defend deep. But then when we attack,
I think we do press as well, and I think
we press,
especially against Villa in the last game. I thought we really kind of pressed them well and cut off the supply to. I don't think really Ollie Watkins had a sniff in that game, did he?
No, he didn't. No, yeah.
And Coutinho, yeah. His only shot really was the free kick at the end. So
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying with that. Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't get between the lines, and I feel we do that very well. So I'm actually not worried. The only team that, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, the only team I'm worried about is Man United, and that's because
United.
That's only because when we play them, I feel we play the badge rather than the team. And that's what will put me off.
I know what you're saying. When we play them at Old Trafford, it's more so that is kind of like the case. But I think at home we've got quite a good. I think we'll be all right at home against them. I can't see us losing that one.
No, I can't see it losing. I think it'd be
honest. I know I might have. I'm touching wood. I'm touching every single piece of wood. But I think the only game I can see us having a problem. There's 2 games really. Actually, sort out 3 games really. I think the Palace game is going to be tough, because I have to say the crowd at Palace are tremendous, and being it under the floodlights on a Monday night, the TV cameras are there. You know, you can just see that the broadcasting companies are trying to set up that perfect storm, as they did against Brentford when we lost. Palace, Chelsea and Spurs are I think for us are going to be the big games. They're going to be the cup finals. But I'd like to draw your attention both to where you both said that you expect 9 points between, from Palace, Brighton, and Southampton. That Southampton game is going to be tricky. There's that run, that 4 games: Southampton, Chelsea, United, and West Ham. Those games there, where only one of them's at home. Those 4 games: Southampton away, Chelsea away, then Man United at home, then West Ham away. If we can come out with anything like, I don't know, 10 points from that, James, would you think that'll be top 4 or even top 3?
Nah, I like the admiration that we should be chasing after Chelsea, because it keeps us hungry, keeps us wanting to fight. And actually, I know we're playing for top 4, but it gives us something to focus on instead of being a numerical value being, okay, look, we need to get 78 points, 75 points to get top 4. We're chasing Chelsea, and that's what I hope the mindset is, because it's actually giving them a physical goal to aim for. Like, look, we can get top 4, and that is the goal that we are now in. But for me, I'd rather see a hungry Arsenal that are like that. We don't want 4th, we want 3rd. And I feel like if we're going to be chasing 3rd, we're going to need a minimum of 10. And I don't think top 4 will be wrapped up by the end of those 4 fixtures. I think it's going to drag down to a bit further along. I think I know we still have a game in hand over Spurs, and I'm confident in saying that's going to put us 6 points ahead of them. So then you can do the maths of based on what teams we should be beating, I guess, and then figure out where the top 4 might be done. But again, it's the Premier League. We're all talking on paper here, so a big team.
To be honest, I think I don't really think the Spurs game will be relevant to the top 4.
No,
I think it'll be done before.
I hope not by then. I mean, you know what?
There's too many points. There's too many points available, and too many points that could be dropped for that game to play such a significant role in it. Yeah. I can't see it getting to that far.
All it needs is a couple of, I don't know. I mean, we all know from the whole thing of January where he didn't add to the squad, etc., blah blah blah. Do you guys still feel or kind of like have that kind of nervousness if we might be an injury or 2 away from, possible catastrophe in that top 4 race where something is, look, okay, if Gabriel goes missing or Ben White goes missing, we bring in Rob Holding. Is Rob Holding enough to kind of, sustain the kind of momentum that we have? Or Thomas Partey goes missing and Lasambi Lokonga comes in. Is that enough? Do we feel that we've got enough in the squad to go on for these last 10 games and continue the momentum that we have? Because Thomas Partey and Gabriel and Ben White are they're integral. They're integral right now.
Saying that though, you could say that about Spurs. Like, if they lose Kane and Son, are they a threat? Like,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, sometimes it can come down to luck like that. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
or being unlucky.
I think Partey is the biggest one. Gabriel and Ben White, yes, I'll be sad, but I don't think I'll be as anxious with Holding than I would be if Partey wasn't in the team.
What you're raising your eyebrows there, James? He's kind of like
no, I'm agreeing with him. I'm just trying to think, because Rob Holding for me, it's like the whole Sambi. I'm agreeing with Steph more in terms of if we lose Thomas Partey, I think we have to change our shape. I think we have to go back to a double pivot if we lose Thomas Partey, because I don't think Sambi he has the skill set there. I just don't think he's got enough experience under his belt to operate the way Thomas Partey does right now.
Yeah.
I was more along the lines of thinking that Cedric is actually done, and I think we should move on from Cedric in the summer, but I'm not going to say he hasn't played well. because he has for the past 5 games.
That's harsh.
Well,
I mean, because he's actually proven that he can be an admirable squad player.
No, he is an asset to the team. I'm thinking if Cedric continued to play this way, I think it might not even be a bad idea to see Tomiyasu come in above Rob Holding, because I feel like Tomiyasu is more of a competent centre back than Rob Holding is. Like he plays for the Japanese national team. And I feel like he's better in terms of the ball progression than Rob Holding. Maybe Tony's not going to agree with me on that.
That might be quite. I'll say pushing if, let's say, Tomiyasu gets injured. We're now, because you're effectively playing 2 right backs.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Well, no, I disagree.
No, when I say 2 right, so when I say 2 right backs, I mean like you're playing 2 right backs, as in like
in our squad, as in that's what
in our squad, in starting 11.
You know, I understand that, but I guess it's more of a risk with Tomiyasu's injury record this season. Cedric hasn't. I think since Cedric has joined, I don't think he's been injured that much. Like maybe for a couple of weeks. I might be missing a long-term injury, but he seems to be consistently fit. And when he's not consistently fit, like he's always in a part of the squad. You know what I mean? He's always on the bench, or he's in and amongst it. So I trust his fitness. Again, touch wood, fingers crossed, whatever your superstition is, right? But I think we have the squad depth for it, and I'm not too worried, because as Steph said, like it could happen to it could happen to Spurs. They lose Kane, they lose Son, they're done. Like that's the way I see it, right? When those two aren't playing well, they can't get out of it. They're done. That's their facet. Maybe that's going to be like lazy analysis, but that's the way I see it from what I've seen in the games. Whereas within us, I think especially attacking wise, we have enough there to get out of situations to say, I don't know, if Saka got injured, Pepe can come in. If Martinelli's out, Smith Rowe steps in. Like we have bodies there. And it's like, I think for the Palace game as well, I think Zaha's not even in Zaha's playing for in Ivory Coast team, but I don't think he's playing today. I don't think he's in the squad. I think he's injured. I think he might be out for the game, right? So, and Elise is out with a foot injury.
Oh, right? That's good, because he's been doing bits.
Again, I could be wrong, and they might both be fit, because you never know. They mysteriously become fit right before kickoff. But like again, it's things like this that aren't just going to be for us, they're going to be for everybody. And I think if we can get past the 3 games of Southampton, Chelsea, and United, where it is 4 days game, 3 days game, and then another 3 days game, right? If we can get past those 3 without injuries, I think we have enough in our squad. That's where I'm watching it, because after that, it's pretty much a game a week.
So, you touched on a point there. You was talking about these games here, right? The Chelsea United games. Those games. They're basically like a 3-day gap, I believe. That's what Arteta was pretty much up in arms about in terms of the recovery from that. Does he go as much? How would he retain? How would he manage that? I mean, we're looking. You would assume that what he would try and do for all of these games, as much as possible, if he could, in a perfect world, you play the same 11 every game, right? But obviously, that's not going to be the case. That's not going to happen. There's obviously fatigue, etc. But when you come across the Chelsea United, I think it's the Southampton Chelsea United games, there's like a 9-day gap, I think, for all 3 of them. Mm-hmm. Now, how does he manage that? Does he go hard against Southampton and I don't know, maybe kind of lesser against Chelsea and then hard against United? I mean, how does he manage this? Because the thing is, this is going to stretch our squad to the max. Yeah. Because that's pretty much like what, touch wood, if we get through this Champions League, that's going to be our season next year.
Yeah. To be honest, sorry, our squad isn't really set up to go out of the way. It's hard or nothing. We don't have the the quality or the personnel to change it up too tough. So I think he is gonna go hard all games, and depending on how the match fitness, I think he would just judge it game by game personally. But I think he'd that Arteta picture is killing me, man. But that, but I think, but
I think he's touched on something there. Actually, sorry to cut you there, Steph. I mean, we can, because if you remember the Armoury season when we kind of choked against Brighton and Palace, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Where if we had won one of those games, that would have been it. That was the season when we got to the Europa League final.
Yeah.
So we choked big time, didn't we? So we can get top 4, but we tend to bottle things at the last stretch. Nonetheless, I'm confident we can get top 4. But if we do, I'm not going to celebrate it like a trophy. We ain't Spurs. Listen, the funny thing is, I mean, do you know what? The biggest thing that I will celebrate, right? And it's not even so much about being in the competition. It's about what the competition brings. And what the competition brings is the fact that it allows you to attract a better player. And that, for me, is what I want. Because if we don't get Champions League football, I just feel like we might then start being left behind. Because I know we're being kind of a little bit in dreamland, etc., and there have been kind of like little kind of talks or rumblings about, I guess, some Arsenal fans dreaming about getting Haaland or whatever. But if we're a Champions League club playing in Champions League, year in, year out, and we're actually improving and doing what we do with this project that we got, listen, why aren't we in the mix for those type of players? So that, for me, I will be celebrating it like it's a trophy because of the players that potentially will want to come to us.
Yeah. No, I
I'm
agree.
not sure what you guys...
I don't know. I think you can look at it. You can look at it in two ways. I think is where we're at as a squad, right? For the players we want to attract. Like again, to be honest, Tony, I don't really rate Ollie Watkins as I do as high as an Everton striker that we could get if he gets relegated. But yeah, because I'm caught in two minds, right? Obviously, I want Champions League, and if we get Champions League, it's fantastic. I also don't feel like Europa League's the end of the world. The reason why I say this is we have a lot of young players that have got experience within the Prem and have got game time under their belt. But we also have a lot of young players coming in that don't. And I'm talking like fringe players that are going to be coming in. Balogun, Patino, Ballard, Rekic if they come in, Saliba, right? These players that are going to need game time and are going to need to grow because we are going to need to grow as a squad. And I'm not, if we get top 4, I'm not expecting us to get to the finals. I'd like to see like round of 16, quarterfinals, like push. That's if we get Champions League, that's where I'm at. That's where I see us getting to. But I feel like within Europa League, obviously the cons of not being able to attract the Haalands, again, I don't think we're going to get, is that it's not going to bolster our squad in terms of maybe talent. So I'm in two minds. I don't know what you guys think. If it's because I can see the benefits of both. Obviously, my preferential choice is Champions League because you get higher quality players. But I think Europa League can give us a lot more game time to young players that are going to help them develop, and long term might benefit the squad as a whole. And that's where I'm like, I can't make my mind up.
I understand your thinking, I really do, and I think there is an argument for that. I just think right now that there's, because of timing and because of the certain players that are potentially available, getting Champions League and being in the mix of those kind of players and being able to sit at the table with some of these players in terms of, look, this is what we have to offer, and actually players listening. We would need Champions League football. I mean, yeah, man, it's just a tough one. I mean, there is that thing, you're running before you can walk, and I don't want us to get to the Champions League and get embarrassed. That's the the last thing I want. But maybe we should have another year, out of the Champions League, have a squad, have them knit together. No, you don't agree with that? No, Steph. Have them knit together, build up again, have another season in in the Premier League, and then make top 4, even top 3 or whatever, at a push. But I don't know. It's just one of those ones that I'm just a kind of bit like, I understand what James is saying. Would Champions League be too much of a, step up for us?
It will be, but that's the whole point of, that's how you make winners. Like you can't have that winning mentality, thinking like this is too hard. The teams and the players that win things constantly challenge and motivate themselves, and they put themselves in difficult positions and difficult situations to thrive and strive. So like if we're gonna say Saka's world class, Martinelli's got the potential to be world class, Odegaard's going to be world class in this and that, then we have to put them in these situations to show, okay, we're never going to see it if they're not put in the fire. Do you know what I mean? This is how things grow and develop. So if we go out in the knockout stages, I'm happy. I'm not even mad. I'm like, when we get in the Champions League, I've not got no expectations. All I'm giving them is the experience of knowing what this competition holds. So when we do come back, like if we do go out in knockout stages, they know what it entails. They'll come back stronger with better players, better, do you know what I mean, a better understanding of what the competition is.
So you're saying then that you wouldn't mind us being in the Champions League. Fair enough if we get knocked out in the round of 16 or whatever. You don't mind that, as long as you can see though that there's going to be progression.
Yeah.
Season from season.
Yeah, because this is good for the players and also for Arteta.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I mean, I hear what Big Dogs is saying here. What's the point in being in something if we're only expecting round of 16? I'm going to sound like League Gun here, but the whole point of being in elite sport is to aim to win that trophy. Time to raise the standard, I think he says.
Yeah, I think that ties in with what Steph is saying as well.
Yeah.
I'm not struggling with the whole concept of us being in the Champions League and versus being in Europa League. I just feel like the whole concept of us being in Champions League and what we're going to achieve next season depends on who we bring in. And from what I'm seeing, obviously there's the Haaland rumor, which is made up by our fans. There's no reliable outlet that has been saying it, right? Is that it's going to get us the level of players that's going to elevate us up to Champions League competing team, right? And what I'm worried about is every player that we've been linked to hasn't been that 26, 27, 28 in their prime now that's going to carry you and take you to the latter stage of the Champions League. All of the targets that I've seen, and this may change in the summer, but all of the targets I've seen us being linked to are players that we could get if we were in the Europa League as well. And for me, I'm not seeing the elevation right now of the quality of the squad. Obviously, the targets we're looking at getting are good and will take us up a notch, but I'm not talking like if we signed a Haaland, that's levels. If we got like a Lewandowski, that's levels, right? But I'm talking like that world-class striker, that world-class centre mid. And I know for striker particularly, there's very limited options, and the two that are available are going to go to like Real Madrid, City, whoever, right? So
well, really there are others, and there are others available. There's talk about, we've got Dybala, who's on a free, and then there's Martinez.
Bring him in.
Pardon?
Bring him in. I'd take him over.
Apparently, he's available. He will be available this summer for around 75
million
euros.
This is what I'm saying. Though there are those players, right? There are Dybala's there. There is Lautaro Martinez there, right? But we're not being linked to them. And as of right now, this could change in the summer. What in the past, but not recently. Lautaro Martinez, no. Dybala is being linked very sparsely, but is looking like he's going to stay in Syria and actually go to Inter or Atleti. Like, we're not in the conversation like right now as it's saying. And I'm talking like tier ones that like linking us, like the Cody Gakpo, for example, right? He's a very good player, but again, he plays in Eredivisie. We don't know how it's going to translate, and he's 22. So
well, the thing
they're
is,
good players, right? And I just see the progression of this squad, and I'm in agreement. If we get Champions League, and I wouldn't even be mad if we got into the Champions League, and maybe let's say we didn't get to the knockout stages, but we dropped down into Europa League again, I'm fine with that. Maybe I'm setting my expectations too low, but then again, it comes back to the nuance of me saying that this squad needs to develop, and I'm seeing 2 or 3 years of development before we're challenging for anything. But I do agree with Steph. It is better for our players if we think they're as good as they are to face higher quality opponents, and that's what you get in the Champions League. Because with the Europa, you're not really facing anyone of note unless you get like I don't know, unless you get like some big dot like in your group, or the teams that drop out in the Champions League. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just. It all hinges on recruitment, and I don't know if you guys are like optimistic about that, or if you see us because
I am optimistic. If we make Champions League, I am optimistic about recruitment. I think if we make Champions League, we in a couple of years will be challenging City and Liverpool. That's where I think we'll be in a few years' time. In like 2 or 3 years' time, we'll be challenging those guys for the league. Simply because of I don't expect us to. If we made Champions League this year, I don't expect us to drop back into Europa League next year. I don't expect it because of the players that we will get in this summer. He'll address the issues that he didn't address in January, and I tell you what, I actually trust them guys in the transfer market, to be honest. They've got a profile of player and they stick to that, and they're not held to ransom in any way. If they can't get them, then they move on. They have multiple targets for the area that they need. And if they can't get their top choice, then they go for plan B, etc., etc. So I'm quietly confident if we make Champions League, I expect us then to push on, and I'd say in like 2-3 years' time we'll be challenging Liverpool and City. And you can start that, you can clip that, you can move on. Yeah, I'm that positive. However, getting to this is such a crux moment in Arteta's tenure, and I think our main rivals for this top 4 are these guys, basically. And Mr. Silver Fox did a little prediction, not like the supercomputer as they sometimes do, or FM22, but it's come from his own what he feels will be the run-in, and his estimation is that it's going to come down to the game against each other. So looking at that, once you guys study it, anyone can just chime in and just let me know what you think of that, whether or not you feel that those league games, whether you agree or disagree that Chelsea, that Tottenham are our main kind of rivals for this top 4, and whether or not you kind of feel that those kind of results will, obviously nothing, football's not a science, but you kind of see it could go like that. I mean, some of our draws, we could have like a loss in there really, and a couple of wins, surprise wins. We could nick a win against Palace, lose against Chelsea, you know, and that kind of gives us the 3 out of the 2 points, right? That we thought we'd get against Palace and Chelsea. That will put us up, an extra point. So, do you guys agree, or disagree, or kind of feel like Tottenham are our main opponents in this? And how do you think it's going to fare?
I disagree. Well, if I'm going on this point prediction, I don't see them beating Newcastle.
At home? Yeah. But we got Newcastle away.
Yeah, but Newcastle fighting for survival. They won't be fighting for it by the time we get them.
I think they're going to struggle against Burnley as well. And this is what I'm saying, right? So their last 4 fixtures that they played is Everton, United, Brighton, and West Ham, right? And for me, Spurs are one of, or if not the best counter-attacking team in the league. That's how they're set up, right? They're not set up to control and dominate games. And those 4 fixtures are teams that like to be on the ball and attack you. And it just plays into their hand. Like David Moyes, if you watch the game, they controlled the ball. They played their football, but they fell right into what Spurs are set up to do. And that's why I'm thinking more of if they're playing a Burnley, I feel like they're going to struggle. They might beat them, right? But against deep block teams, they struggle to break them down from what I've been seeing this season. And that's a fixture I think they're going to struggle with, being Burnley. The rest, it's going to be up in the air. I think we're going to beat Newcastle. From what he said, but I don't know. I don't see it coming down to the Spurs game. The Spurs game is obviously going to be important, right? It's the same as the Manchester United game. As long as we don't lose those games, it's advantage us because they're behind us, right?
Exactly.
I honestly think the pressure is on them because we're ahead. Like I don't know if Steph's agreeing or you're agreeing that we're playing such good football at the moment. We're in such a harmony within the club, within the fans, within the team itself, and we're oozing confidence. Like you've seen some of the players that have gone now on international break, how well they're playing. Thomas Partey got man of the match today. Martinelli in the training videos have just been playing well. Ben White, I know he made a mistake, but he actually played relatively okay. Yeah. I didn't see Xhaka too much, but the players.
Xhaka was decent in the game, man.
The team, like the players we have had in international duty, right? I'm pretty sure all of them have stepped up. Even Kieran Tierney got his first goal for Scotland, right? And it's going back to what Steph's saying. We're playing so well. I don't fear what our rivals are doing simply because I'm so insulated and positive about what we're doing. So I personally don't see it coming down to the North London derby. Obviously, it's going to have some significance, but I don't think that fixture is the be-all and end-all.
Yeah. No, do you know what? I couldn't agree more. And I think you're right. You touched on there about momentum and about, you know, the togetherness and how the squad is kind of they're all playing, you know, just off the cuff, but it's, you know, but they're so kind of comfortable and together with what they're doing. It kind of reminds me of James, you're probably a little bit too young for this one, but the 97-98 season when we won 10 games on the spin, like, you know, towards the end of the season, to claw back United. They had a 12-point gap. Yeah, and we won 10 games on the spin to win the league. The togetherness of the squad then was just absolutely crazy. Yeah, seriously. And I can see parallels with, obviously not saying that the quality of those players that we had then are like we have now, but what, you know, the togetherness of the squad gives you that extra 1, 2, or 3% to get you over, you know, the line and have that never say die kind of attitude. So it'd be interesting to see how it happens, because you can't put a kind of, you know, there's no tangible kind of evidence for squad togetherness, is there really, as such? But you just know when a squad is, you can feel it, can't you? You can just feel that a squad is together. And you're right, that's what we're seeing now. I mean, Steph, are you seeing anything there which you kind of feel like with those games, which are kind of like, I mean, to be fair, I can see it all happening like this. I can see us winning all those games, as you guys said. I mean, the only one really could be the Chelsea away, but why can't we go ahead and get all? What we've got 10 games left.
Chelsea's still in the Champions League, isn't it?
Pardon?
Chelsea are still in the Champions League as well, right? Yeah. So that's even to our advantages, even with that.
Absolutely. And West Ham are still in Europa as well. So I think
To be fair, I thought
Tottenham
Arteta's
got lucky with that game because they played him right after they played Sevilla, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, yeah, honestly, me personally, the only team I fear, I even said to my budget, the only team I fear is not. I think fear is the wrong word, but it's just the Man United. It's just literally just because of status. That's all I'm just hoping they get out of that mindset and just play Man U for the form that they're in, rather than the badge and the fans and the atmosphere.
It's the history. Yeah. I mean, because it's at our ground. Had it been at Old Trafford, I would have been a bit more probably a draw or something
it's
like
the history
that.
of the teams as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel with us as well, Man U, like, and I know Ronaldo will be hyped for that game because it's Arsenal and it's because, do you know what I mean? And I know like who did Man U play the other day? And he got a hat trick, like out of nowhere.
Oh god, it's Tottenham, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was
Again, Man U
Ronaldo.
been playing woeful up until then, but because of that game and obviously that NFL player came, he got inspired, and that just lifted everyone else, and that's what we need. We need that.
That's going to be a big game, man. That's going to be a big game. It's going to be a
big game. It is.
But as it's got that old adage, isn't it? The old every game's a cup final. At the end of the day, we've got 10 cup finals left. Whether or not we'll do or not, I don't know. But the first game coming up. I mean, we said Villa was going to be a very tough game, and it was a tough game. But there was always like an element of control in that game. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we were comfortable. I wasn't worried about the Villa game, to be honest. I don't think it was that. Obviously, I'm not underestimating Villa, and again, Villa can beat us on their day, depending on what Villa turns up. But I was confident. They didn't have a shot on target until the 93rd minute, which was Coutinho's free kick, right? Yeah. So they don't have a shot on target. I don't know why I'm worried. Obviously, they hit the post, but that was
you're right.
So I was in full, and I think we're underestimating here how bad Spurs and United have been against teams they should have beaten. Right? Obviously, we had the blip against Brentford, Everton, whoever else, right? But we've been consistently picking up points against the teams we've had to beat, and that's why I'm confident. Like, they've dropped points. Like, they haven't been that great. Like, they lost to Watford. They look shaky against Leeds. They drew with Burnley and Southampton. This is Man United. Like, they haven't been too great.
So we look at that. So I mean, they got Leicester. Leicester can the next game.
Yeah, again, that's what I mean. Leicester can do something.
And Everton away, obviously they're scrapping. They're trying to get points.
No,
don't know what Everton's going to turn up, but I actually feel, I actually feel Everton are going to go down.
Yeah, bring my boy DCL.
Wouldn't it be great? Oh my god! But not great, but hopefully they're down by the time they play us in a way, because obviously we're last game of the season at home, and if we need the points, then and they still got a chance to stay up. I don't want that game. I want it all top four tied up after the Newcastle game. Leeds at home. If it's top four, obviously it won't be, but Newcastle game, I want top four tied up. So are we discounting West Ham and Wolves?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I'm being naive, but we're 6 points ahead of West Ham with 2 games in hand, and I don't know what Wolves are saying. What are Wolves saying? Wolves have played 30 and they're 8 points behind us. So we had 2 games in hand again. So I only see the title. Not the title race. The top 4 race being 2 teams, being Spurs and Arsenal. I'm not I don't want to jinx it, but I don't see United in that. I wouldn't say there are, because if we win our game in hand, we're 7 points clear.
Yeah, so we still got so United have played 29 and we're 4 points ahead. So we win that game. If we win that game in
when
hand,
we win the game, we'll be 7
what
points
games
ahead.
What games are game in hand?
Chelsea.
But it's not really like a game in hand in the sense of, we haven't played this team, right? It's kind of, I don't view it like that. It's like we have to play everyone regardless. So it's not really a game in hand, but we haven't played yet. So it was Chelsea and Spurs that were postponed, but it's like, again, we have a game in hand. So yeah, so
it's a Chelsea. So basically, it's the Chelsea one that would make us level on games then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, no, it would make us the next.
Yeah, because
game
I think we played Chelsea and then United quickly, don't we? And I think the Chelsea one is the
no. But when I mean, like, when it gets to, like, let's say 34 games, what game would make everyone on 34 games, or everyone on 34, 36 on the same number of games? What game would that be?
I think it's after we played Chelsea.
Chelsea.
It depends what you pick, though. Yeah. I think Chelsea are midweek. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So when we play Chelsea, we're all on the same level playing field in terms of, like, the game.
I believe so. Well, apart from West Ham, I think, because they played 2 games more than us.
It is. Well, if we're basing it off of, like, that we've got 1 game in hand for every other team, it is Chelsea. Yeah.
Chelsea game. Okay.
Yeah. ADWTT, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. And we got Brendan Winter. How you doing, sir? He says we think we'll get a result against Palace. It will be tough. It will be. It's always tougher. I mean, but last year we did quite well there. Wasn't that the one with Tierney and Pepe?
Yeah. I'm not even worried about this Palace game. I think it's going to be like us with total control, and we're going to batter them. That's the way I see it.
What's the time when Benteke got a brace against us or something like that, though?
Was that the one where Aubameyang got sent off? Or
it might have been something when Benteke had not scored for how long?
Yeah, man. If someone hasn't scored for Yonks, play against Arsenal, and they'll always score. Oh dear, we're always, we're always that team. Yeah, Mr. Silver Fox said, I think us playing more games compared to the rest could be a disadvantage. Could be. I mean, but the reason being is probably because of our small squad and the fact that we're going to have this little running of 3 games in 9 days, which is going to test us both mentally and physically. And he's saying that the Spurs game is the one in hand, is really the game in hand. So that being said, guys, I'm going to ask you guys to stick your neck out before we leave. I'm going to ask you, top 4 or no? Yes or no? Big Steph.
Standard. Yeah.
Love that. James.
Yeah, man. I said at the start of the show, I think me and Steph have been on the same vibe this whole entire show. I'm not scared of anyone, and we're gonna get top 4. That's the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah. I
Wow.
I can't.
Being a bit too cautious, Canners.
No. What I was gonna say is that I can't see us not doing it unless we're fucking unlucky.
Yeah.
We're COVID and whatever.
We're not talking about intangible. We're talking about what we're asking you to answer the same way.
I know, but I'm just saying that I'm just kind of like I don't want to be the to say yeah we'll do it, and then boom, as long as we don't make any stupid mistakes, no stupid sending offs, in some of these games, and don't make it hard for ourselves. I think we do it. The squad is so together now. And let's just say our guys are smashing it on international duty as well.
Yeah.
So and that's always going to, Pepe's smashing it. He scored a great goal against France.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
He took.
I was going to say,
put the Hernandez brothers in the bin, bro. He spanned both of them.
He would be massive in this run up.
That's the thing.
I think he'd play a big part.
We need one player, just one player to start doing a madness.
Yeah. I think he'll come good in the Chelsea game. I'm hoping we do what we did when Martinelli ran down the whole pitch, and we let Chelsea have it, and we just play on the counter with Pepe and Martinelli and just sort them up.
That was a mad game. Actually, but we ain't got too bad a form against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge at the moment. So, it'll be an interesting game. That'll be a big game, but we have to beat the teams that we will feel that we should beat on paper. Oh, 1 minute. Mr. Fox has been watching. Pepe balloons a chance in the first half tonight. Fair enough.
I ain't stressing, but this is why I'm chilled out. I think you guys are in the same mindset, right? Is in no matter what happens, as long as it's sixth and above, right? We're in a better position than United. We're in a better position than we are than Spurs, longevity wise. And for me, it's nice to feel like a connection to the A team, the club again. And I'm chilling. It's been a while since I'm missing Arsenal playing football. And that's how you know, like, you're actually enjoying the process.
Enjoying what you're seeing.
Doing. So that's where I'm at.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree with you more, James. Listen, we're going to cut it there, really. I have to say, we obviously got just under a week, actually, to the game against Palace, and we're back on the saddle again. Let's hope we pimp slap them like Will Smith. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you, James, Big Steph.
Yeah, man. Pleasure again.
Bless.
Yeah,
we
man.
out, guys. Take care.
Yeah.